Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and there's a big news happening on the Ukraine war situation, and it's actually the Russian defense ministry. The defense minister, Shoigu, have announced that the Russian forces will be built up to 1.5 million. That means the entire Russian military, which is around 1 million strong, will now be increased by 150%. So let's read this statement coming out from MOD Russia. So they say that during the working visit to the joint group of forces for the special military operation, the defense minister actually have a session meeting with the deputy defense ministers, branch commander-in-chief, the commanders, on the implementation of the Russian president, which is Vladimir Putin's decision to build up the armed forces to 1.5 million troops. And he actually mentioned the reasoning for doing this. He said that this is to provide military security to the country, to protect new regions and crucial facilities of the Russian Federation. And this can only be guaranteed by reinforcing the elements of the armed forces, which then he detailed. They will be creating two new inter-branch strategic territorial formation, the Moscow and Leningrad military district. So they are now forming new army groupings, I guess, to defend the two major important cities on the western side of Russia, as well as self-contained groups of forces in the new regions of Russia Federation. Basically, they are building up more forces to protect the four new regions, the four new oblasts that was now included into the Russian Federation, which means that they're not going to dilute their military just to cover this four territory, this new four territory, which is Kherson, Zaporizhia, Donetsk, and Luhansk. So they are going to have more troops rather than moving the current troops into these new territories. And they're going to form an army corps in the Republic of Karelia, 3 motorized rifle divisions as part of the land forces, and 2 airborne assault division as part of the airborne troops. So that's quite a bit of troops actually. And then they're going to reorganize 7 motorized rifle brigades in the Western Central Eastern Military District and the Northern Fleet into motorized rifle division. So previously they are 7 brigades strong. They're going to change them to 7 divisions strong. So they're going to size it up by at least 3 times. So in all directions. Basically, they're going to enhance the number of troops across. And then to reinforce the combat elements of Navy, aerospace, and strategic missile forces, I think this is actually maybe providing new equipments and stuff. So then there's the large scale changes of the army structure and increase the strength will be introduced between 2023 to 2026. This is actually a very, very short time frame. This is even faster than Poland's announced plan to militarize. So Poland is also doing the massive militarization, and their target was, I think, 2030, if I'm not wrong, because most of these tanks they buy from South Korea. It's not going to arrive anytime soon. Similarly for all the new HIMARS systems and Abrams tanks. So this is tremendously short, 3 years to do all these things. And they will require all deputy defense ministers, branch commander-in-chief, commanders of the military districts, Northern Fleet, and to take appropriate divisions. So this doesn't feel very comforting, because the more fractured the decision making, or you give them too much leeways to interpret all these things, might cause some problems, typical of Russia being a tremendously huge country. And but he put the main emphasis is to place on manning troops with contract personnel. So a huge number of these 500,000 troops, which is 500,000 troops, will be professional contracted personnel. They will be professional soldiers, regular soldiers, and it's also necessary to timely provide units and formation with the armament, military and special hardware, as well as other materials, raise the number of training grounds in the military district and new regions of the Russian Federation. So it's not just raising 50% more troops, but it's also to arm them, give them the equipment necessary. So this also signifies a massive militarization in Russia as well. So they, to prepare them for maneuvers, define the training scopes for the cadets and students in the higher educational institution of the Ministry of Defense, then upscale training scope of specialists in training centers, and heighten the needs to increase capacity of training centers, so and establish new ones. So the new set of measures to be provided with relevant budget allocation. So you guys in Europe and US who continue to buy Russian oil and gas, yeah, you are funding the entire Russian military expansion by 50%, and they definitely have the money to do it. Just by whatever extra earnings that they earned this year, despite the so-called falling GDP by 5% to 10%, the raw revenue, cash revenue that the Russians have received, I think they can easily pay for all these things one shot. Like literally one shot, they can pay for all these things. So in the short time, the Russian Federation go to times 1.5, and within 3 years, and they're going to build more training grounds, buy new equipment, build more new equipments. And to me, this looks like a preparation for war. Just like my criticism to Poland, their militarization looks extremely suspicious. And I don't think Poland is preparing for war against Russia. I feel that this building of troops is likely to be used against Ukraine, or probably against Germany. I don't know. It just looks like it. It doesn't look like Poland is going to pick a fight with Russia. And Russia is not going to rest on their laurels. They are building up their force by another 500,000. With this 500,000, they were going to outnumber the NATO forces easily. And Turkey is not going to fight with Russia for sure. So you can count Turkey out. So just Western Europe, or Central Europe plus the Baltic states, this is not looking good. Without the Americans' help, Russia is going to dominate the battlefield. Then 1.5 million, and you can imagine they're not going to be fielding old equipments as well, because many of these old Soviet era weaponries and heavy equipments has already been sent to Ukraine. They probably still have more, but to man up to 500,000 more troops in terms of upsizing 7 brigades to 7 division strength, they're going to arm all these people with new equipments like T-90s, perhaps even Armata tanks, I don't know. So it's going to this is actually a very concerning news, which is why this is a video on its own, and I just want to let you guys know that World War 3 is coming. Oh my freaking god. Okay, anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next update.